Welcome back to our studios here in Berlin as our coverage of the European LCS 2017 Spring Split Week 6 Day 1 Game 3 continues.
Low numbers.
I tried to make it count.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Tell
it
me,
is good.
which side did Unicorns pick?
You know, Deficio, since you asked,
Yeah.
I can tell you that as Unicorns of Love have side selection in Game 3, they elected to pick red side.
Oh, shocking
So
sound.
previous games, obviously blue side, UOL Misfits.
Yeah.
Why are UOL going red in your mind?
Well, if you look at the last game, I think they were super happy with the first 3 picks they got on red side. Obviously, they traded Jin for Ashe, which I think right now is a very even trade.
Right.
And then they got Graves, which is the preferred jungler with Rengar banned. Now Xerxes showed up on it as well here in the second game.
Yeah, it helps when your lanes aren't losing around you.
Yeah, that definitely
You get the
helps.
opportunity
Definitely
to
helps.
play League of Legends.
And we even had the last pick Malzahar coming in into like banning a few supports. So I think overall it was a very successful first pick phase on red side.
All right, so reminder to everybody who may just be joining us, it is patch 7.4 here in the European LCS. We are playing with the Edge of Night hot fixed. And we're about to jump into picks and bans. So looking at Misfits when they were blue side last time, Shen, Ivern, and LeBlanc were their bans. You expect anything different?
I know, I think the first 2 bans will probably be the same. I do wonder if they actually want to get rid of Graves specifically. Could also first pick it. Like, that's one of the things Misfits in the last game opted into picking that Jin first when it was actually fairly even 80 carry trade. So the Jin first pick didn't have that much value. And music is catching up now.
You'd make an awesome DJ. DJ Deficio.
DJ Deficio.
DJ Deficio.
I play the most boring songs ever.
No, I don't think so. I think you get some good stuff in there.
I don't even
but,
play Lord of the Rings music.
Hans Summer's Jin was pretty good. He ended the game with pretty high KDA, pretty good positioning, but the problem is...
You traded for 2 picks.
Yes.
So, I think you first pick Graves here for Cacao. Instead, take it away from Xerxes. If Unicorns then go for Jin, you take the Ashe or the Sivir or the Draven. Hans Sama has played Draven specifically against Jin. So I don't think you need to be concerned about giving Jin over to Unicorns. Clearly, they still value it way above like Ashe and the other 80 carries, and they value it so much they first pick it.
And of course, we don't really know what's been happening in terms of the week and a bit off of scrims and training, where Misfits obviously did not go to IAM.
Take the
Unicorns
Graves again.
did. So Ashe, Graves, Malzahar was phase 1 picks for Unicorns of Love.
And we had Lee Sin as a response from Cacao to the Graves. And then they obviously went with Shen. So not Shen, Rumble. In the last one. They don't have to pick the Rumble very early. They can save top lane for later. I think also stealing away Malz then is pretty smart. Because even if Tahm Kench is the answer from Unicorns of Love, you can definitely play around that very, very effectively as well. Zyra was the pick last time though from Hylissang, and it wasn't very effective. Hylissang spent most of the game dead, actually, just getting caught out.
Yeah, did not... didn't work out. Hylissang, of course, was playing the Malzahar. It was Ignar on the Zyra game 1. Sorry, you said it right first time.
So the fact that we get Ignar on Malzahar again is key, because he was so good in the first game.
Comfort pick. He was flanking. He was abusing the lack of vision for Unicorns of Love.
Same again.
Same again matchup. Okay, so top lane is this time around, and mid lane is going to be available in the next round. We've seen Syndra banned out multiple times, as is the Katarina. Zillion as well. So a lot of these very, very targeted picks get removed from the pool, and Alphari's Rumble is taken out.
Yeah, you obviously don't need to ban Zillion or Tahm Kench now, because supports have already been locked in, so it can be full mid lane focus or top lane focus with your bans. I don't think necessarily Maokai has to be banned away here with his nerfs to the laning phase. While he's still fantastic in the late game, you can definitely punish him pretty hard early, because now Misfits have more pick potential compared to last game, which means if Misfits gets the same early advantage, they're going to start using his Malzahar to just catch Unicorns left and right, like we saw in game 1, and use that to kind of further snowball their lead. So I don't necessarily think you need to get rid of Maokai just because he is such a slow scaler.
Don't think Orianna's ban worthy, but is she first pick worthy on the side of Unicorns in phase 2?
I think, yes, she is. Because then your last pick can still be a tank who works really well with Orianna. And Orianna's just so safe in the mid lane. I don't think Power Viva's going to pull out anything crazy to try and like counter it. Obviously, Ahri worked fine for him, but like it's a very even matchup.
Yeah, I mean, the Ahri worked well, but it wasn't enough to win for Misfits in the previous game.
That's fair.
Exile had some great shockwaves. Syndra's off the table. Katarina's off the table. Misfits have banned. Nah, they've banned Ivan. Both of them are gone. Nah's not really likely here with the Rumble gone as well.
And before this week, Exile would just take Rise in this pick phase here, first pick phase, especially on red side when he had first pick. He would just go Rise every time, and it would have been such a key pick for him, but we haven't seen that today. It's been Orianna now. Again, it worked in the last game, especially once we got to late game fights. It still allows you to play Maokai last if Power of Evil plays Ahri again, because you have this point-and-click CC against a champion that relies on dashing around. So it's actually good for Unicorns to save the last pick for Chachi.
And of course, despite Power of Evil's impressive Ahri performance, they lost the game. I want to know what Alfari plays. Does Alfari anticipate a tank, therefore play the Renekton? It is now confirmed and locked in. That's going to give him some early... I mean, look, Misfits, this screams like early to mid-game.
This screams very much game one to me. Get early advantage and have multiple champions that can really get yourself in a great position to then take like an early Baron and try and use it to close out the game, or at least get a big enough advantage that you're going to win. Like, this is... The mind games here is funny, because it's like, Unicorns are like, yeah, we're going to save last pick so we can go Maokai against your Ahri again if we need to. And we have the Orianna with the Shockwave on the Maokai. But then Renekton here, who will take over that lane and go for that first tower 100%, especially with Lee Sin to back him up, makes it really tricky then to pick the Maokai. Like, very risky, because you will fall behind early on the top side. This is very old school. We get some Olaf top lane against Renekton.
Oh,
switching it up.
We got excited too soon. Trundle instead. A little bit more traditional, a little bit more split pushing power, but
yeah,
tough early, isn't it?
It's still tough early. Definitely still tough early. Renekton will not stack a ton of armor and MR on his first two items. It's like Tiamat, Black Cleaver we're looking at, and then Hydra obviously coming in. So it's not like the Trundle ulti is extremely effective against Misfits comp. And Trundle can struggle in a lane like this, especially because Lee Sin can set up some pretty effective ganks against a no-dash top laner.
Well, last time we saw that here in EU was Flaxish playing that Trundle a little while ago. Let's say it didn't work out too well for him there. But Vizicachi in this matchup will have more tools available to him, especially with Xerxes on this Graves.
Yeah, but again, like Graves, obviously, is like the perfect way for you to play Graves is be super strong in the jungle, like farm as much as possible, hit level 6 and be insane in skirmishes. It's not necessarily having to like babysit a lane with ganks. You can definitely gank early with Graves, you have your dash in, a lot of burst damage, but it's not as effective as certain other junglers, and you really want to focus on farming.
All right, focus on farming. In the previous game, there was the mission get Xerxes ahead by using the Raptor Camp from the IAM meta that we learned while pressuring the enemy Raptor Camp.
Yeah.
Do you think we'll see that again?
He can definitely still start Raptor Camp. He doesn't get the same kind of leash because there's no saplings for Maokai. You can use Orianna fall over the wall to give him a little bit of a leash as well. So definitely still an option for him. It didn't work last time because he got caught out and had to flash away.
It's the deciding game, ladies and gentlemen, between the Unicorns of Love and Misfits.
They're all asleep.
It is the third week of cross-group play in Europe. And hopefully some excitement on the Rift. We'll get those golf claps. We'll get those golf claps. Give us a little bit more energy.
All right, so Misfits again. Very, very strong early to mid-game. Ton of pick potential. And we get the same thing with this Renekton. I really like Renekton right now. I think he's really fun to watch, and I like seeing teams play around topside.
It's so fun to watch. Oh, baited and outsmarted. We can't watch him yet. I'm not too disappointed by this because I want to pose an idea to you, Deficio. At the beginning of the series, I said this was sort of the official battle for second place, right? Based on series wins, losses. If we only had one group in Europe, Misfits would be ahead of UOL because their game difference is better. They have won 8 games more than they've lost, right? And Unicorns have won 7. This series, do you think it cements Misfits as a second-place team? Do you think they're still even with UOL?
Well, the thing is, I want to watch H2K after IEM as well before I want to lock down who is the second-best team in Europe. But I think if Misfits take... I mean, that's the thing about BU3, right? We get a winner. So
Yes.
technically we can then say, yeah, Misfits right now are stronger than Unicorns if they beat them. And the other way around, if Unicorns win this series, I think just even if one team is slightly better than the other one, like technically
It's
right
very
now.
close.
Yeah, it's very close. So it's not enough for it to matter.
Yeah.
What really matters is the fact that, especially with Misfits, we see this progression all the time. We want to keep seeing it because they still have a few weeks before playoffs. And if they can keep working on whatever issues they have and just keep improving as a team, then coming into playoffs, they might look like the clear second best team in Europe. I'm not going to put them above G2
No,
just
of course,
yet,
of course.
but that's the thing, like, if you just take like the last few weeks and how teams have been improving, then Misfits is above Unicorns and H2K. But we got to look at the full season, and that's where it's even.
And how they actually perform in that series, right? Because
Yes.
Unicorns of Love came up against G2. Number 2 versus number 1. Or rather, it was actually respective
1-1, yeah.
1 and 1. That was to determine who was the best in Europe. And Unicorns, they botched it, right at the Nexus in Game 2. They denied us that Game 3 special. Just to give you an update, there are some keyboard-related matters that Hans Sommer and the tech guys are looking into right now. So once they get that resolved. So this Game 3, obviously incredibly exciting to determine the technical number 2. But H2K are a team who have also shown progression. Like Nuclear and Che is the guys I'll look at specifically, who week to week to week just look to be developing more synergy, seem to be interacting with the team more.
I mean, that was kind of our story coming into this specific series, how we felt like out of the 4 top teams, the only one who hadn't really shown a lot of progression just now, like in the last 2 weeks, were the Unicorns of Love. Because they've been playing against a lot of tough teams and they've been losing them, and obviously that always exposes some weaknesses. And then we now have to give them time to obviously show that they can work on these problems and then fix them. So we can't just call them out or anything.
Yes,
it's more
exactly.
The other 3 teams have been showing a bit more, like H2K made the semi-final, super close series against Flash Rolls where
They should have won.
that second game, I think you and me,
fight.
we both cried at that last team fight
And
because that was a 2-0.
The thing with H2K, right, when you look at their performance throughout many of the weeks, you can point to single errors, right? You can point to monumental mistakes, barren throws, or team fight misplays.
They make it very easy to see, yes.
Yes, and the rest of the game looks very, very good, very clean. And it's just very interesting. Whereas Unicorns of Love, on the other hand, they have so many different types of mistakes, but they do so many different things so well.
Yep.
It's hard to say where Unicorns should be improving, but those are the things you got to look at when you have these 4 teams vying for the top of the table. And we're 4 and a bit weeks away now from playoffs. Mm-hmm. You're starting to run out of time to fix those problems. If you want to make a deep run, if you want to represent Europe at MSI, go to Brazil and try to do better than G2 historically have done.
Won't be too tough, I guess. They need 3 wins instead of 2 wins.
They set the bar pretty low.
Hey,
so.
that's a good thing, We can go in and get a 3rd win, and we're going to cheer so much. But I think just generally with the playoffs coming up, because we have these 4 top teams that have been just a level above everyone else, it almost looks like it's just kind of locked in stone who's going to play semifinals.
Yes.
But once you get to BO5s, and that 1 to 2 weeks prep coming into playoffs, so many things can always change. And then suddenly a Splice or Fnatic surprise us, and one of these 4 top teams, even though they've been sitting there for 10 weeks, suddenly don't make it to the semifinals.
Yeah, that's where things become really spicy and interesting. BO3 becomes BO5. Ladies and gentlemen, we are back onto the Rift. Keyboard is hopefully functioning as expected, and taking a quick look.
Deleted some software, and now they're ready.
Taking a look down some of the spells and team compositions, just as a reminder, again, Misfits looking to get a spicy advantage in the early game.
What is a spicy advantage, Trevor? Is that a goal lead? Is it a flashy plays?
Why not both?
Sure, give me both.
Why not both? Kakao and Lee Sin, he can do flashy plays. Power of Evil and Ari, he can do flashy plays.
Definitely true. We saw some of them last game. So, leash for Kakao on bottom side. And then we get actually Chachi helping out Xerxes here. So he does get a bit of a leash. Not the saplings we saw before. And it's the same thing again. Start on the Raptors. Get them instantly down so they can respawn quickly and then maybe contest enemy ones. But this is Kakao adapting from game 2 to 3. So by him starting bot side with the leash from Malzahar with Voidlings, he can then instantly get to his Raptors as well. And therefore Xerxes won't get a chance to come in and actually contest it. Because as we saw in the mid lane, Orianna can push Ari early. So Exile's going to push in Power of Evil. then Xerxes is going to invade the Raptors, and then they're going to dance and have a party.
We're going to see something in whether or not Xerxes is forced to flash. I am seeing a small pause here, technical delay, as the keyboard may still be the matter. I don't have confirmation of that just yet. I will update you guys.
So you're lying to people
as soon as I hear more.
Fake news?
When the pause came in, I could actually see Hans Sommer fiddling with the hardware, so I'm making an assumption.
Boom, we're ready though. We're getting back in game, Trevor. This keyboard is fine.
It's just a tease. It's just a tease. Building tension, building excitement. All right, adaptation from Kakao. So Raptor and then the potential contest.
Yeah, but
Raptor.
now the contest is gone, you know,
no
because
more.
Kakao adapted, started on bottom side instead. He can gank early on top side. If Chachi is in the middle of the lane or slightly overextended, then it's a fairly easy setup with Renekton stun onto Chachi and then connect Sonic Wave with the Lee Sin, and boom, that's a kill. You already see some of the early trading, which is in favor of Alfari. Trundle always needs time. He's never that strong in the early game, the start of the laning phase, where Renekton is fantastic. So it's a tricky matchup. I feel like Chachi's picking here, but clearly he feels confident he can get to that late game stage where he will just dumpster Renekton.
Well, the weather report says thunder's on the horizon. Misfits gonna try to do what they can to take advantage. Big trades on this bottom lane as Xerxes. Is he actually coming into gank? It doesn't look like it. Samek sidesteps the flourish. And Hans Sommer running out of ammo, but Xerxes very nearby if a fight were to break out.
Yeah, and also Xerxes didn't see that the crooks have been taken by Lee Sin, so obviously Kakao is on top side of the map and he can call that to his team. So we see Kakao sitting in the brush up there, while Xerxes sitting down bot lane. There's a ward to TP potentially from Chachi, but that would be a crazy early TP.
Oh, so much pressure. Xerxes gets
diving this
spotted
early.
out.
It's so
hard. Look at the top tower. Look at the top tower. Kakao and Alfari, they're going in. Ruthless Predator for the stun. That locks up Chachi. He flashes away. Alfari takes 2 tower shots and the dive has been thwarted. They get the Summoner spell. Now down in the bottom lane. Hylissang, Xerxes, and Samex are fighting forward. There's no damage on Samex, so he's not rooted by a flourish. Denying the CS, getting some damage. Flash forward, traded for Ignore. We go to the top lane. First blood picked up on Achachi. It's not over yet. Down in the bottom lane. Hylissang is being burned down. End of the line. Dash forward, exhaust, root sidestep, flash by everybody. Throw the kitchen sink at them. Hans Sommer's now trying to turn it back around.
We need to see if Unicorn still have minions. Okay, they got 2 minions now. They can walk out. Otherwise, they will be very tough. Oh,
flash! Oh, Hans Sommer shuts down Samex.
So Misfits, in the end, win the trade because they get that kill top lane we mentioned.
Deficio, this is
Ganking for Kakao.
EU meta. The EU meta.
I love the dirty farming, man. They were sitting between 2 towers at 4 minutes mid lane.
Look at that flashy play. Charm onto Exile. He's going to get run down. It's Kakao that kills Exile.
Yeah, love their little mind games there. Kakao doesn't even use his Q because he knows Exile will try and flash it. Exile knows he can't flash before Kakao uses the Q because otherwise he will just get hit after. And that's why he ends up dying without using anything. This was a second gank, or second dive. So they still have a few minions. They go all in for Ignore, no flash. A little bit late on the exhaust, if we have to call that out. And then Hans Sommer charging up, getting the crit. One more hit, boom, crit is ready. Waits for cooldown on Q. And poor Samex being left behind. Nice flash though.
Even flash the root.
I love it.
So good.
Really huge for Misfits, honestly, because now every single lane has gotten a kill. And we mentioned how the early game is really, really strong with this comp and how they have so many lanes that can actually snowball out of control. Like Malzahar lanes are fantastic at doing that with his ulti. Ari, of course, as an assassin in the mid lane. Renekton top lane. Like, we're going to see Renekton get first turret very, very often now that he's back in the meta. And Kakao and Alfari together have shown great synergy so far in this series. Whenever they've gone top lane to do something, they've killed a guy.
Yes.
And it tends to be Chachi who's the guy.
Well, there's not many other people that will be there at this stage.
Well, maybe Xerxes was kind of there saying hello, and he would die too.
Well, everybody on Misfits, and their flash blown with the exception of Kakao for a second. Just came off cooldown. Early Tiamat picked up.
Wait, where's Power Weaver going? He's level 6. This Trundle is being put in the dumpster so far. And now Power Weaver and Kakao.
Gonna deny the vision. Chachi respecting the potential.
Revenge dirty farming. Now they're between the terrorists being like, nah. If our bot lane didn't get anything, then you're not getting anything. It's like back with Pokemon cards when you would trade and cheat with someone. and like you cheat him and like get a really good trade, then he would always call his big brother who would come and tell you, no, that trade is not happening. And you wouldn't get the Charizard.
No, you never did.
You never did because the big brother would always show up, and Alfari is the big brother right now.
Our 21st birthday of Pokemon was earlier this week. Did you feel old when you think about that? Tower First Blood picked up by the Renekton lane, as expected. Hans Sama and Ignar respecting the big brother Xerxes from Unicorns of Love, backing away from that bottom turret, and they're going to trade 1-for-1. But look at the mini-map, guys. It actually looks like Alfari and Kakao getting some damage onto this inner turret top, but they've got no minions to work with. So, unfortunately, it'll just be a few autos before they're forced to back away.
Yeah, and I wanted to say when Trundle was logged in and being like, you know what, I trust Chachi here and his knowledge of this matchup, but luckily I didn't actually say that just there, because it was more like, this seems really risky against like a jungler who can gank you, a champion that can set up ganks so easily as Renekton can, like double dash into a stun against no dashes on a Trundle, like you're pretty doomed. And so far, it's been heavily in favor of Misfits, obviously with them camping topside. Still want to see what it is Chachi can do later with this Trundle, but it's going to take a lot of time when he's being put this far behind.
If he gets the time. Misfits do not want to give him the chance. The earliest Tower First Blood of the split was this game in the top lane. Thank you, Stats team, for letting me know that. And Alfari now starting to apply this pressure elsewhere. He's got no tower to push. And the wave is going to be able to come to him, and maybe he can even teleport back up there.
I mean, this is always one of the good things when you get early top tower is you can push it out as a top laner, and then by the time the other guy is pushing it back, you could have left and gone to like another lane, dragon, bot lane, whatever, and you just suddenly apply pressure elsewhere. And that's one of the key things. Like, when you enable a top laner by taking his tower, the way for him to, kind of snowball the game is by going to other lanes then after pushing out his lane. He doesn't add vision or anything, he just adds pressure. And that's what Alfari is doing. Too many top laners, they stay top lane then. They're like, yeah, I'm just gonna keep pushing out top and then back and push it again, back again. Then you don't use the advantage. Alfari just did it perfectly here, getting bot tower. Can TP back and catch this entire wave once he recalled.
All right, he's gonna back off, finishes the recall a moment ago, starts channeling the TP. So Chachi will get about 50% of that HP down. Ninja Tabby to back up the Phage and Longsword here for Alfari. He's even gonna extend that CS advantage that he built up early on, and 2 towers to 1. Misfits, they used that early game chaos to their advantage. They've also got some map control. Looking at vision though, as I change topic abruptly, Unicorns have got themselves some wards in the map in the early game.
But what about the weather, Trevor? What about the weather today? It was raining a lot.
No, it's thunderstorms.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
true, yeah.
Yes, so we're gonna see the thunderstorms dashed away from, but that's just trading ultimate for ultimates.
All right. I like it still. Power of Evil doesn't need to kill anyone right now. Can use it defensively because you're winning both side lanes, mainly through Renekton. So once again, you see Alfari here. Push out top lane. His goal is not to kill the top tier 2 tower right now. It would take him a long time. But he can dive to Trundle again if he gets help. That's why if you look at your minimap, Kakao is on the way. And if they kill Chachi, suddenly that tower is available. Or you start roaming from top down to mid lane. Oh, Chachi, my friend.
No, there is a flash available. He throws down the Subjugate already. Ruthless Predator and Dominus. Flash away from Chachi, flash forward, and the dash from Alfari. And they make that look relatively simple. With the help of Kakao, this tower's going to drop low. There's another mini lane coming in.
Yeah, and it's always cross-mapping now if you're the Unicorns of Love. Bot lane tower is their objective, but they might only get the turrets. They're not getting the kills that the Misfits are picking up right now, so they will always slightly lose out on these trades. Mid lane as well is now open because the top lane can roam down. Exile cannot really defend this safely. You can see him on your minimap hovering to the bottom side. He's just stepping out of the picture here because he knows he can otherwise get killed from behind.
Yeah, so it's not only a tower trade, but Misfits get themselves a kill and another. The Ash Arrow absorbed by Malzahar's passive. Ignar just tanking that one up for his team. All right, Unicorns, they haven't given up though. 10 minutes, look like they're going to take this inhibitor tower down. Minions coming in.
But can they avoid a fight? Because they will get the tower. So again, teams are trading right now. 3 guys have to now run away, but they're getting flanked.
No Ash Arrow available, no Stranglethorns available. Teleport coming down for Visit Chachi. This is going to become a little scary. Xerxes on the side lane. Charm, I think, connected there onto Exile, and with the use of a teleport, they get out clean. The base is open. It's not a huge deal right now,
Yeah.
but it is additional. A little bit of gold, a little bit of pressure, and opportunities later.
Yeah, definitely not in their favor getting an inhib turret for a mid tower at 11 minutes.
Oh, look at the charm. Exile caught out. Orbit Deception. Rushing forward. Shockwave catches only Cacao. And, wow, Power of Evil with only a lost chapter dealt all that much damage.
It's a bit like in game 1 and start of game 2, where Power of Evil are getting the early advantage over Exile. With this Ahri here, he's able to catch him a few times and get quite a few kills over to Misfits, but as we see the replay, beautiful play, honestly. Like, no panic or anything, just instant lands the charm. Exile ends up not flashing that one, and generally, you shouldn't get hit by that, like, full-range skill shot. Because that's the only way Power of Evil can actually kill you, so you should expect it to happen.
Power of Evil went back to base with 3,000 gold.
Protobelt, baby!
Picks himself up a belt.
Sadly, this build was so cool before Protobelt got nerfed. But now, like, it's Snowball. It's a Snowball build, like, extra mobility, extra burst when you do go in. But it's not as effective as it's been in the past. It's definitely still good enough to kill squishy members. And there's a lot of them. There's 4 of them on the side of Unicorns. But as I was saying before with this bot lane inhib, like, it looks fancy. Oh, look at that. We got the inhib turret, super early, a lot of pressure. Like, no, actually now it's a dead lane for you. Because there's now no turret that's actually going to push this one back fast enough. So the waves are going to be super, super, like, massively built up near that inhib if Unicorns have a slow push going that some of our Misfits can just walk down and pick up. And trading that for a mid tower is just not worth it this early in the game, because you're never going to get that inhib for another 15, 20 minutes. And this mid tower is exactly what Misfits wants, because it opens up the entire map. And it gives them obviously a lot of gold. And now suddenly they have all outer turrets down in a composition where you're winning multiple lanes. It's all in favor of Misfits.
I really like the discussion around, was killing that tower, like, how bad was it? Well, try catch those lanes as they slowly push down to the inhib, because that's the next level of communication and understanding of strategy, right? Isn't it?
But again, yeah.
Realizing the problems you can cause yourself, thinking, oh, but it's just a tower. No, it's not just a tower at 10 minutes.
And it all actually comes down to Unicorns just being slightly behind when it came to getting these turrets. So they realized we can't actually stop the mid lane from dying. So we just have to get something. Let's get this thing in front of us, which is the turret, and that's fine if you consider they want to just try and trade. But being in that situation in the first place all starts in the top lane with Alfari having that pressure, killing Chachi, taking turret, and suddenly roaming down to mid, and that just put Unicorns really far behind in the play. Yeah,
UOL were behind the play earlier in the game. That cost them towers. Now they're behind the play in mid lane. Misfits get some damage onto that inner turret. For those of you who've just joined us, Power of Evil and Cacao have been dunking on UOL this game, just like that.
Yeah.
And in game 1, it was early game plays like this that allowed Misfits to really run away with the first victory in the series. Unicorns need to desperately defend. Down 4,000 gold.
But this is game 1 all over again, where the pick potential is so much in favor of Misfits, with Malzahar as well. And Unicorns, they cannot get defensive vision up. It just gets cleared up by Misfits instantly, and it's such an important aspect of the game, the vision control. What really separates the best teams from some of the worst teams is understanding where to ward, how to clear wards, and everything. And it's going to be so heavily in favor of Misfits again, so Unicorns are going to play blind.
And that's what our Unicorns are doing. They have some defensive vision in the top quadrant of their jungle. There's a control ward that I think Cacao should walk over shortly.
Joke. Never check the brush.
Just missed it. But either way, there is some vision for UOL. But it's simply not enough just yet. 4 towers to 3, 4,000 gold lead for Misfits. Unsummer, the lone defender in the mid lane until Cacao and Ignor make their way around from the side. And just like game 1, Deficio, vision and lack of vision for UOL allowed Ignor to roam and get flanks. Let's see if we can do it again.
Exactly, and obviously it's not just blaming Unicorns here, because it is very difficult once you're behind. It's also full credit to Misfits in terms of how they are actually denying the vision from Unicorns of Love. So it goes both ways. A team can not ward properly, but another team can also be really good at getting rid of those wards.
And also, step back for a second, right? Like, Unicorns of Love's players have had 2 post-game discussions with their support staff. And I love to try and track how much a team can change within a series, how much they can learn. Watching Cacao adapt to that Raptor start that Xerxes did in game 2 is an example of adapting between games. Now we look at the same scenario. Malzahar, blind, vision, and UOL, how do they do it? Because, as you said, Deficia, it is game 1 all over again, which Misfits won a little slower than maybe we would have liked, but that's being super nitpicky.
Yeah, they were in control the entire game, like they've been in this game here as well. It was a bigger goal lead in game 1, though. We had 10K at 20 minutes. We can still get there, but doesn't look to be exactly the same right now. But heavily in favor of Misfits. They have Renekton once again taking control of one lane, Power Vivo and Ari taking control of the other lane, and then you're kind of just playing now, waiting for neutral objectives to spawn. Like, you want the Drakes to come up, so you can now get your Infernal. This time, Karma, you know, in favor of Misfits. They get an Infernal, and then you wait for Baron to spawn, and we get to 25 minutes, and you start playing around the Baron and use that as your way to kind of win the game. So that's kind of the thing for Misfits. It is difficult to kind of further snowball it at this point without risking, you know, plays, because having 3 lanes pushed in at 17 minutes and diving turrets, it's hard to do. It's hard to do.
It's hard to do, but if there were a team that may consider it, I think Misfits would be one of them.
You can definitely, if you get a one-on-one situation, or like Kakao joins the one-on-one to kind of make it a 2v1 in favor of Misfits, then you can definitely do it, which is what they're doing now. Like, you can see, Ignar was hiding in a brush between the 2 lanes, mid and bot lane, to kind of spot members and potentially catch one.
Look at the zoning potential.
Here we have him. So this simply means, like, this is just great 1v1.
Yeah.
Like, the support and jungler are taking over the enemy jungle near the lane you're putting pressure, which is the bottom lane.
Goal between the uprights.
I agree.
And the tower's going to fall as well.
I mean, again, that's just beautiful 1-3-1.
Great strategy, great macro play here from Misfits. Really understanding the pressure points, those control wards playing into their favor. Talking about control wards, that single ward for UOL behind the red buff is still there. It's not meaningful at all.
Right.
But I like tracking it.
Of course.
And it's a teleport opportunity for Chachi if he had it, which he does not because he TP'd somewhere. I didn't quite see where, unfortunately. Now Hillisang, phew, that was brave.
But notice again how Misfits are just getting everything. It all starts with having push in the lanes, and especially mid lane, so unicorns can't push out and like threaten a tower or threaten to roam to a lane. And then you have jungle support just hovering in between, just saying like, you're not gonna get in here. If you get in here in this jungle, Malzahar will ult you and Kakao will kill you. So Exile literally had to sit back and be like, I can't defend my tower. Like, I literally cannot defend my tower right now.
Well, unicorns have not been able to defend any of their towers. Kakao, with a lot of support from Alfari and PoE, dove Chachi so many times. I mean, look at Kakao, 3-0-3. He's kind of led the charge on where pressure's fallen over. They transferred pressure top to bottom, and now they're putting all that pressure middle.
Yeah, and then after middle, you put it top if you want to. If you want to get another kill on Chachi, if you want to get Baron Vision very soon. Hillisang trying to create a pick here. Simply just too late, and now there's the top lane pressure with the Rift Herald. Just great, like, bot lane, we get everything we want on the bottom side. Infernal Drake, tower, go mid, go top, and then Baron becomes the next. Exile might get caught. Slowly.
Oh, so much damage on Exile. Power of Evil's chasing forward, and Exile flashes and gets a heal and exhausts, and Curtain Call now tagging onto Xerxes, looking at Kakao on the sideline. Coming in, Chachi now gets locked down in place. Nethergrasp actually booted out of it.
Yeah, Kakao making sure Ansama can't steal that kill.
And negating some of that damage. Misfits, 8 kills to 1 at 20 minutes. It's 6,500 gold. Unicorns are running out of structures to fall back to.
Yeah. That means Misfits are running out of structures to kill right now and just have to kind of wait for Baron. Good exhaust from Exile, but nice setup from Power Weaver. And at this point here, no one from Unicorns can actually fight because Exile is low. Everyone from Misfits is on their way. Good flash, and then we see actually Chachi trying to join, but this Trundle is so useless. Like, he's been dove 5 times. He needs, like, still not 20 minutes before he's doing anything.
If we were to ask a pro player, would you say the Trundle is trolling?
Yeah.
Is that what we're going?
I think Trundle has just been useless.
So Fisher, I have a question for you, and I'll be impressed if you know the answer. During weeks 1 through 5 of the European LCS, how many kills did Alfari secure?
I'm gonna say the lowest amount of any top laner in Europe.
No, I want a number. I'll tell you, I'll give you that number. It was 18 kills.
Was it the lowest?
I don't know. We'll have to check with Stats team.
Oh, okay.
You're kind of derailing my story here.
Oh, sorry.
The follow-up to that, if Alfari finds 3 more kills, he will equal his previous 5 week kills. He's on 15 right now. 3 more equals all of the kills he got between weeks 1 and 5. And if a team were to give them to you, it's gonna be Unicorns. Team fight, team fight, team fight.
I like that Alfari is like, okay, great, Maokai is nerfed. I don't have to play that garbage anymore. So he's gone Renekton, Rumble, Renekton. They've been playing around his lane. They've been setting him up to actually get these kills and be a carry. And he's taking it. He's been able to do well in all 3 games. Like he's Rumble ulti were fantastic in the last one.
Here comes Alfari. We're looking for 3 kills.
Nope.
He's going to get turned into a pair of shoes, potentially. Decides to run away. Damn it, Alfari, that doesn't meet my story.
Well, come on away. He has time, he has time.
He has time.
Knowing Misfits will be here for another, like, about 15, 16 minutes. They need 2 Barons as well. That is a lot of time for Alfari to get kills.
And watching Alfari this split, he was the, the most hyped top laner coming from Challenger that we've seen in a while. Illisang gonna throw down the Stranglethorns. It doesn't work out. Alfari's jumped onto him. Slices and dices backwards, using that Kolamik to try find sustain. Cacao got a kick available. He boots Xerxes, didn't do a whole lot. Charm goes wide thanks to a flash. So managing to dodge the skill shots, and this fight has turned a little bit messy. Where's the shockwave from Exile? Still available. Good charm onto Chachi. He's now going to flash defensively.
Misfits is also not giving Exile any chances to actually shockwave multiple members. They're completely spread out. Notice how far he dove in, seized one target, and dove back out with Slice and Dice. Didn't want to risk going down and didn't want to fully commit to the fight. They're just playing like these, like, really scattered fights where an Orianna who wants people just grouping, like we saw Faker earlier, just get like that sick shockwave. That's not happening if you're playing like completely spread out like Misfits are. We talked about waiting for the Baron. It's now alive. They're not hitting this ward because it's disabled right now. They don't want to give away they're actually on the Baron. That's why they're not killing it. So this is the correct call. And it is very cleanly finished. Can they kick out Xerxes?
Xerxes coming in. Asher comes down. Unicorns of Love. They steal Baron from the best Baron team in Europe.
All right, the entire Misfits Baron. No one steals the story. Unicorns just killed it. That was the Colorcast's dream story in Europe, where we get so many 50-50 Barons.
Evil. Nah, I don't know if he's in trouble yet. Got Spur Rush available if he needs to use that to escape.
Oh, this is so huge for Unicorns.
Some tower. Unicorns, they turn it around. All of the early game plays, all of the advantage thrown away. Exile is going to use the exhaust. Nethergrass comes out. Cacao kills Exile. But Unicorns bite off a little more than they can chew.
We were a second away from Misfits finishing the Baron. There was a control ward from Unicorns behind it, so they didn't know Xerxes was coming and when he would appear near the Baron. And that's why he went in and he managed to steal it. It's a great play from him. Super important for the Unicorns of Love, because the game would basically have been over. See, there's no vision behind Baron, so they don't know where Xerxes coming in from, like when he's coming or anything. Jumps in, boom, steals it, nice burst. Plus the smite. For now, the story is dead. We might resurrect it soon. We might resurrect it like next Baron or next game.
We have to see. I mean, Misfits still, the setup was good. The play was good. They just lacked one ward.
Ah, yeah. It was so close.
One little ward.
Good steal from Xerxes being the hero. It doesn't really change the flow of the game because Misfits still have all the same advantages in terms of pick potential. And they're using it.
All right, Hillesang's going to be a target. Alfari needs to find this kill secure. 5 is the magic number, but it's Hans Summer that secures it.
He needs 3 more.
He needs 3 more. So when Alfari gets to 5 kills, he will equal his previous record. And Deficio, you said it was the lowest number of kills for all top laners. I'm so happy to tell you you're wrong. He was the second lowest.
Second lowest. All right, fine.
You're pretty good, though. Well played. As Misfits do not care about Unicorn's Baron buff. There's still 5,000 gold up. There's still 5k gold up. But with Unicorns, maybe buying some time.
And again, Misfits are getting Infernals this time around when they're the team getting the early Drakes. The last game was Unicorns with double Infernal and Mountain. Fantastic setup. Double Infernal now for Misfits as well in this game. Definitely can't complain. And Samox on this Ashe, I don't think he has QSS just yet. And yeah, face check Ahri means you would die in Season 2, Season 3, 4, 5, and 6, and 7.
I mean, you can just say you die.
You
face check Ahri as ADC.
Yeah.
Especially in 2017, you die.
Yeah. You just die.
And of course, Hylissang gets caught out as well. Now, Unicorns can't afford those mistakes. Exile died when they tried to push the mid tower. Watching Samix and Hylissang die while they dance around a dragon that really wasn't going to happen.
Right.
You can't afford to lose those Baron buffs and give up even more control to Misfits.
No, that's true. And I wish we could sit here and say, hey, don't worry. They have this like sick team fight and comp late game with the Maokai who delivered a shockwave. It's going to be great. They can win late game fights. We sadly can't say that because Trundle just doesn't offer the same that Maokai offers. Like, Trundle delivering the ball is kind of like you see him run at you. It's much easier to react. He doesn't have the same sort of tanky capabilities as CC, and that makes it harder for Unicorns to win fights late game here. And obviously them being behind also makes it really difficult.
It does indeed. Hylissang didn't even get a chance to face check. He was killed before it. That's one down for Misfits, increasing their tally to 12. Double kill for Power of Evil. Kakao shut down in the back end as Vizichachi gets one for himself. Alfari's looking to engage. So far, it's a 1 for 2. Unicorns are running away. Still 5,000 gold down, and the pick power is so high.
Yeah, might be enough for Misfits to get some damage on the mid turret here, but there is still wave clear from Xerxes on the way back. Kakao is fairly low. Had to obviously sees GA being popped, and there's the Graves wave clear we mentioned, and then suddenly this tower is staying alive.
It is indeed. Exhaust goes down into Xerxes. Ignat forced to flash away from the tower. Unicorns have loved fancy their chances. Vizichachi's getting burned down low. He's rooted in place. Flash forward. Hans Summer gets the kill credit. Alfari locks down Xerxes with a Ruthless Predator. He slices once. I think he has dice available. Wasn't quite tracking it. He's going to get slowed. Dominus runs out. Ash continues to chase. There's a lot of damage. Hylissang needs to find some CC. Edge of Night's gonna block at least the Stranglethorns. Kakao gets away, and it looks like so does Alfari.
So in the end, Unicorns of Love do not manage to pick up another kill, and it's just Vizichachi going down. Let's see the fight again. This is the vision control we mentioned from game 1, where Ignat is hiding with the control ward. They catch out Hylissang. That's an early kill in favor of Misfits, and while Exile does get a very good shockwave on Power of Evil, he does go down, and Unicorns simply cannot fight when they're this far behind against Misfits. And that's just, again, that makes it so difficult because you're already down in gold, you're down in Drakes, you're down basically everything.
Yeah.
And your team comp is actually not that much stronger when it comes to late game team fighting. It is very, very tricky.
It is indeed. It's almost 30 minutes to for sure. And now you've mentioned that it's not the greatest of team fight comps.
I mean, Unicorns are still, it's a strong late game comp,
yes,
but it's not as easy to execute as the one we saw with the Maokai, and that's why I can't...
It's more easily read. It's more easily read.
Yeah.
Like, you can anticipate when that shockwave is coming in.
It's also hard, man, playing shockwaves again. If you think about it, 3 dashes on Ahri, crazy mobility always from Lee Sin, double dash from a Renekton. Like, it is so rare Misfits ever have a reason to be like grouped up that a shockwave can actually hit multiple members. It might still happen, but it's not gonna happen up.
Maybe another Baron mistake. Maybe Misfits make another Baron mistake and destroy everything we built coming into this series about how good they were on Baron. That was our main narrative for the team.
Well, luckily they were still good before with Baron, so like the story was true.
Baron stolen to Fisio.
Yeah, that's the problem, you know. We like to just have one story we can reuse for every team. And then we hope it's new viewers every week so they don't realize we're just repeating the same story.
Stop telling our secrets, damn it.
I know, I just revealed it.
Tricks of the trade.
Ah, Alfari!
Alfari's caught out. Shockwave pulls him backwards every single ultimate. Unicorns of Love get one. Sheepy's clapping.
Yeah, did you guys know? Second lowest kills for top laners is Alfari before this series. Not anymore.
Doing very well for himself. Kakao's trying to pull away. This is very clever. It denies UOL the opportunity to push onto that inner turret as a 5-man squad. Teleport not available for Alfari on his 25-second death timer.
Big Purple Worm is alive. Kakao is behind enemy lines, and Unicorns are actually healthy enough to start it. They're doing the same thing again, where Chachi with Teleport is not sitting in a side lane. He's spending a ton of time with the team in the mid lane, and they're trying to run in this 5-man unit and like force a fight. But on Trundle, he needs to sit in the side lane. That is how he creates pressure. That's how he adds value in the late game, by being a split-pushing monster. We want to see him stick to it right now. See if he can take some duels against Alfari and get some pressure for Unicorns.
That'll be fun to watch.
It would.
Not a huge amount of armor on the side of Chachi yet. Got himself that Sheen, Titanic Hydra, and Spirit Visage on the other side. Black Cleaver, Randuin's, Tiamat, and a Chain Base for Alfari.
And that's kind of another thing now for Chachi, because he's spending so much time with the team. that's why he's itemized for MR fairly early, because it's against Power of Evil and Ignore. If he was actually just focusing on what Trundle normally would, which is like split pushing, armor would be his go-to choice against Lee Sin and Renekton. Just get as much armor early as possible.
Well, another potential face check here on the side of UOL. Sonic Wave goes wide, visit Chachi. There's no QSS available. Subjugate will buy some time if it's needed. Isn't going to find a target, unfortunately. And UOL, I think if we can look at their vision, you know, not working with the deepest river wards. I'm looking in that top quadrant, those 2 controls.
But they do have the Rift Scuttler. It just ran out now, so they knew Misfits couldn't be on Baron from before. And that's why they know, okay, we just have to stay around the mid lane. They're hiding in there. Oh, they get Power Evo.
He does indeed. Wow, he's gone already. Exile still has Shockwave available. 5 versus 4.
Last game, it was a few seconds on Exile's flash, and he died. This time it was Power of Evils. They're going for more.
Unsummon's the target. Collateral damage already burned through. Stranglethorns buy some time. Hillisang's continuing to push them away. Alfari's already dropped low. Unsummer gets a kill on Hilly, though, but they've zoned him enough for Alfari to go down. The tower is the focus.
They're gonna get it as well, Trevor. Ignites behind them. No ulti for about 10-15 seconds.
Is this an inhibitor? 20 seconds and then 35. Here comes Ignore from behind. Hans Summers coming from the base. It's a 3-on-4. Shockwave still up for Exile.
Yeah, Misfits might lose the inhibs, but they're gonna look for kills to then take a Baron after. They're waiting for that Malza ulti. It's up in just a few seconds.
Unicorns of Love at 32 minutes have taken down 2 inhibitors. 15 seconds before Alfari is respawned. Power of Evil looking to put some pressure down as well. And all of a sudden, this game has gone bonkers.
Oh, what a turnaround. It really just started with Samax hitting the arrow on Power of Evil with 2 seconds left on his flash. And he dies. Here's a TP from Alfari.
Alfari, this is the fight we wanted.
Well, they want to rush Baron.
But we won't see.
Oh, he smacked into the wall.
Failed it. We saw that. Asharo sidestep by everyone at Misfits. All right, Misfits has started off. Remember when we said how Misfits need to group up, or could group up? Vizichachi's going to go down, just locked down through that nether grasp. 5 members of Misfits now. Curtain Call being fired off by Hans Summer. He's run out of targets to shoot. 4,500 HP on Baron. This is getting messy. Power of Evil's going to run down Hillisang. That's not a fair fight. Doesn't matter.
Xerxes trying to steal again.
Xerxes, collateral damage and smite is available. 3v5. Baron is not going to be the focus. Alfari peels away. He gets killed by Exile. Kick back. Exile finds himself charmed and killed by Misfits. Samix does as well. And just as you start to believe, Unicorns throw it away.
Well, it looked pretty difficult here for Misfits, starting between Baron and disengaging, but Kakao with the sick moves secures them another kill, and they're going back for it. Xerxes full HP, hiding in the brush, not spotted. No wards behind Baron from Misfits.
Surely
they cannot see him.
He can't do it again.
Control ward on the side.
There's a ward in the pit.
But
it's just been blocked off.
It's disabled.
Xerxes, smite is available. Collateral's available. Is he gonna get it?
They see him with the sweeper.
He's gonna go in. No! Secured by Misfits.
Ooh, close one. They saw him with the sweeper. They knew he was there over the wall. I think the control ward on the side of the Tribers might have spotted him once or twice. Next turret did just go down, but they can defend the next one. It will get its HP back. So turn on Chachi is good here. Still tricky for Misfits because it's 4 members left for Unicorns. And I believe Power Evil dives after Hillisang while the rest is gonna aim for Baron. So it's super split up right now. It's like small individual fights everywhere.
And the strength of Unicorns is team fighting.
Yeah,
this is not team fighting.
No, but because Chachi ended up dying so early, they can't really go in for a fight. Like, Exile's trying to find the opening, but look at how Misfits moving around the Shockwave. And this move here from Kakao is huge to get Exile down. Beautiful kick with the flash.
And another perfect charm again from Power of Evil. Kakao at the end of this fight, 7-0-7 on that Lee Sin. 35 minutes into the game, and Baron on Misfits, despite losing a Nexus turret and maybe even a second, UOL, maybe their only way to pick up a win here is to find a sneaky backdoor.
Oh, I mean, it's hard to say because when we get this late in the game with champions like Orianna, it's like that one Shockwave can just win you the entire game because the base is so open. You don't even need a full ace. If Exile gets 2 guys with this Shockwave, it might be enough for Unicorns to walk in with super minions and win the entire game. So I don't think it has to be a sneaky play. It can still be an open team fight despite being down 7k gold.
It's gonna be so tough. 2 Guardian Angels on the side of Misfits. Edge of Night and all their mobility from Proto Belt Ari. Luckily for UOL, those super minions are going to delay the impact of this Baron power play, and Misfits still need to defend against these super minions.
Yeah, and I just want to give so much credit to both teams because they've made this series so insanely fun to watch. Like, so many back and forths. One game heavily in favor of Misfits, then Unicorns bounce back in the second one with the late game scaling. And this game here, despite Misfits pulling off so many good early game plays, Unicorns have found openings like that Samox arrow onto Power of Evil was so important. It gave them 2 inhibitors. One arrow gave them 2 inhibitors in the late game and kept this game alive despite Misfits being so far ahead. And of course, we also have to highlight Xerxes stealing that Baron.
Yes.
The first time Misfits have lost a Baron in such a long time to a Smite steal.
And of course, that Ashe was a first rotation pick for UOL. It was a first pick Jhin for Misfits. It's something we've discussed heavily this series. We've also discussed how we enjoy watching Misfit and UOL games because they have something for everybody. Some color, macro discussions,
macro,
as well as some
kills.
exciting play-by-plays. Look at that goal difference over time. As the base is now the target for Misfits.
And this is for the cycling fans who love Tour de France. It looks like one of those stages as well. We have something for everyone.
Does indeed. Who's going to wear the yellow jacket after this final push? 37 minutes into the game. Misfits are now on the inhibitor turrets. 20 minutes ago, it looked like Misfits were going to be pushing those turrets already. And Unicorns have found some fantastic team fights and some fantastic punishes. The crystal arrow is used by Samox that is not available. Charm onto Chachi, Root as well. Sonic Wave not gonna get followed through on, and Misfits continue the siege.
Yeah, this Trundle is still gonna be a liability in fights for them. I'm just looking at Exile with his ulti and then Xerxes on the Graves, because Graves late game have enough AoE damage to also turn around the fight. So there are definitely tools you need to respect on the side of Unicorns of Love if you are Misfits. But we see that pick potential again, like Ignar with his ulti. Like, if we count QSSs, I see 1 on the side of Unicorns of Love. When Hillesang played Malzahar in the last game, we had 3 on the side of Misfits. Well, 2 and then the Alistar ulti. So Ignar right now have so many targets. Like, he can literally flash on Exile and just ult him. And Misfits should be able to follow up and kill that Orianna because Exile is not building QSS. So it's really, really tricky in these fights. If Exile is far enough back that he doesn't get hit and he can actually position the ball, he can be the MVP. If Ignar can flash and get him, he might be the MVP.
All right, this is Group A, number 2 Misfits taking on Group B, number 1 Unicorns of Love. We're down to 40 minutes into the game. Potentially one big team fight determines the winner. There's nearly no base left for Misfits. 1 Nexus tower and exposed inhibitors. Despite being in the lead, despite technically being in control, they cannot afford any mistakes whatsoever. And that's why the tempo of this game is now slowed down. Looking for vision with less wards, looking to control, waiting for Baron, waiting for Elder.
Exactly.
And then playing around that objective.
We're waiting for the usual objective because like 1-3-1ing 40 minutes into the game is almost impossible to do because you're pushing on inhib turrets. Like, you're so far down that it's very easy for the team defending to move between the lanes because the distance between an inhib to another inhib is so short, and also from the fountain out again to join a potential fight in case you drop low. So you can't really split push your way to a victory. If you're Misfits right now, you're looking for Elder Drake or Baron. You set up full control around it. We need those wards behind Baron this time. And then you look for the pick. With this Malzahar, as we just highlighted, there's only 1 QSS on Unicorns of Love. So Ignar, in a position where he is sitting in a river with control wards and he knows that he's not spotted, he can find that target and they can kill whoever it is and then get a really, really good setup for Baron or potential fight. So I'm really looking at Ignar on the side of Misfits, and I'm looking at Exile on the side of Unicorns of Love with the Shockwave.
No room for error. Where are those Ashe arrows as well? Samox, he's found 1 magic arrow this game already. Another one could open it up. The target seems to be Vizicachi. Teleported flash is available to him. Power of Evil looking to cut off the retreats.
This is really good timing because there's no neutral objective that Unicorns can go for, so Chachi might get caught.
All right, Chachi's going to get jumped on here. Takes so much damage. Charm as well. Subjugates, buying some time. The rest of Unicorns of Love coming through the river. Vizicachi, his GA's not going to get popped just yet. Continues to run away. It's Alfari that flashes. Ashe Arrow finds Power of Evil, but there's no further follow-up. Curtain Call is going to lock down Samox. He's got the QSS. He's still in the firing range. Not going to get taken down. Unicorns of Love able to escape. A lot of ultimates and summoners used.
Due to no Baron alive, everyone ran to the bottom lane to join the fight. Fari flashed out very early. I'm not sure if he was expecting an Ashe arrow. Ended up just flashing out the volley. Stayed alive though, every single member. GA saved by Visicharsi. That is key because that's how he can add value, by sitting and buying time in the front line. Use that GA to buy even more time. Misfits now hiding in a brush, not spotted. Flash is not available from Ignor. That is important.
No nether grass by. The Power of Evil needs a few more seconds before he can use the Spirit Rush. Shockwave found nobody. Kakao looks for Samax. He goes legendary. It's 21 kills for Misfits. They're looking for more. Xerxes, collateral damage to safety. Kakao Sonic Wave. The Lee Syndrome is strong today. Exile's rooted in place. Shut down by Power of Evil. Kakao's not done yet. He's looking for Xerxes. GA gets popped. Ignor throws down a ward for Vision. Where's the rest of Unicorns? They're running for their lives. Ignor and Kakao will run down Xerxes. Oh, the Void and
pick a door.
Them. Pick a door, any door. Kakao, no, Ignor gets the kill. It's up to Alfari. He needs 5 kills to equal his previous 5 weeks. And who's going to get the credits?
Well,
who's going to get the credits? Ding, ding, ding,
it won't be Alfari, man. Ah! No,
Misfits
Kakao, of course.
The ace. So, Illisanga's running away.
They have minions now. They have 9 seconds on Samax, 20 seconds on Exile. Those 2 carries are dead. And then Chachi dead for 50 seconds. Should be enough for Misfits now to push into the base.
Oh, this is so much damage.
They still have minions now.
Illisanga and Samax, the only one up. Crystal Arrow is still available. It's a 5-on-2 and GA on Alfari.
You have some Voidlings as well to help you here when it comes to the turret. This is zoning ulti from Ansama. Just go for the turret if you want.
All right, cancels the curtain.
Oh, okay, go for him.
Exile's already down. He just respawned. Not gonna be enough. Crystal Arrow onto Kakao. Power of Evil is exhausted. Misfits don't care. They turn their attention to the Nexus, gaining the kills, getting the base, and Misfits defeat the Unicorns.
Game 3. Misfits got the early advantage. They got the Malzahar again for Ignor. Such a key pick in game 1. And while Unicorns fell super far behind and we thought it was going to be another game 1, we got that Baron steal from Xerxes. And we got the arrow from Samax that gave them... So not only did they get Baron, they got 2 inhibs as well. And it was like, damn. Like, Misfits are winning, but they're not, like, really winning because they just lost so many things. Fights, though, whenever it was pure 5-on-5s.
Yeah.
I think the value of the Malzahar against no QSSs and Kakao's performance on Lee Sin just put it in favor of Misfits.
9-0-11 for Kakao at the end of that game.
Holy moly.
Time and time again finding targets. We also just caught a glimpse of Power of Evil just hugging the Unicorns of Love as he went down the line. Some great sportsmanship. One of his old teams, of course.
His first professional team.
And Misfits will be playing Origin later in the weekend. Power of Evil will actually be playing both
all the
of
old ones.
his old teams. It was an entertaining, exciting series.
Yeah, I loved it.
But the problems that we're seeing for Unicorns of Love, their weaker early game, it is really becoming a bigger problem.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Against the top teams, it is becoming a big problem. I think the top lane matchup here, which is never going to go in favor of Chachi against both Renekton and Lee Sin.
Yeah.
And Misfits have shown in game 1 how they can snowball around Alfari very effectively. Like, that's one of the cool things about him as a rookie, is that on tanks he was doing just fine. But he doesn't even like tanks. He is a split-pushing top lane. He's a carry top laner. So now that the meta is shifting away from things like Maokai, it should make Alfari even better. And we saw Misfits utilize it. That is scary.
Even better for a top laner who was already performing exceptionally well.
Yeah.
Showing up, delivering every game. Alfari's one of the guys that Misfits rely on.
Yes.
You very rarely see decisions or outplays where you go, what were you thinking? What was that? And Alfari is... he showed it this series.
I think also just like with Misfits, you know, there's been so many discussions around like imports and so on. Like Kakao and Ignor has been 2 of the most successful Koreans we have seen come to Europe.
Yep.
And it's play in the LCS. Obviously, Ignor was already here in Challenger with Misfits, and Kakao joined now for the LCS split. But both these guys are able to adapt to the team. Like there were even this movie for Misfits, you know, they follow Kakao around. Like it's great to see Kakao. Like it's great to see him like adapt as well. And in game, like it just seems like there is very little miscommunication.
Yeah.
Between them and the rest of the guys.
This is a team that looks like a team. They're
great.
growing, they're communicating, They're not different parts working together as 5.
No, I agree.
Anyways, for a closer look on that 2-1 victory, Pyro's on stage with the man in the top lane, Alfari.
Thank you very much, and wow, hell of a series. Big time carry all 3 games. Alfari, I want to ask you, what were you guys doing on your IM week? Because that was honestly a big up from last time we saw you.
Well, during our IM week, we didn't have as much practice as we would like because a lot of teams were taking weeks off or days off to go home and see their families. But we had a lot more time to adjust to the patch than Unicorns because they played last patch in IM like a couple of days ago. So I think we had more time to adjust to the patch, and I think that really helped us.
Well, it certainly did, but at the same time, you guys had a really, really solid snowball in game 1, but then the Unicorns kind of bite back game 2 and even into game 3. Were you expecting them to fight that hard?
Coming in, we thought Unicorns would be like really good early game and not so good mid-late game, but it kind of reversed. And so I caught us a little bit off guard, but I think mid-game, we made a lot of mistakes, but we've still managed to win, so it did surprise us, yeah.
Well, overall, your performance definitely seems to be improving, and in light of that, as you guys go forward, how far do you think this team can go in your rookie split?
I think we can go first. We have a lot to improve on, particularly our mid and the late game as well. Well, judging from this series at least, but I mean, we're doing good. I think all the players are really good, so I think we can definitely go for first.
All right, well, looking forward to seeing if it all happens. Now, thank you very much. Congratulations again on your victory.
Thank you.
And we're going to go ahead and send it right over to the analyst desk. Take it away.
Thank you very much, Pyra. Alfari believes they can get first. I believe they can get first. Are you guys Misfits believers?
I'm a pretty big believer after that series. I don't know about first place. I think there's a lot of competition here, but that was such an enjoyable series.
Were you?
Not yet, but the trajectory, if it keeps going in the same direction at the same level of growth, of course it's possible. This was a shift, as Stress was saying, really enjoyable series, but the shift of focus and play style is just, it's so apparent. They played for super late game around these Barons and they followed the same steps every game. It's like their coach was standing next to them. First you do this, then you get the vision, then you get the Nashor. If they come, you peel off. This game, it's like you pick a pushing top, a mid laner, you make a winning top matchup, you make Alfari dive Vizicachi over and over, and Ignar and Hansama play safe, play defensive, and then leverage that disadvantage into an advantage. It happened game 1 and 3 so beautifully, and even in game 2 it was present.
And I think the most interesting thing is you can look at different sections of the game and look at good things that both teams did. And we wanted to take one look at the early game that actually was both teams doing well. It was that weird moment where all 4 kills happened in about 30 seconds. So this was the dive coming from Kakao and Alfari.
But this is after, I think, the first W gets used a lot earlier, and then it kind of jumps all around. But the patience on that top dive, it was much better, and it's much more set up for success here. Whereas Misfits, they're wasting so much time 2v3, whereas in the top lane, they fail dive first, they don't die. So many teams would die, they're grading, they go for the proxy, and then the redive, once Alfari's W is up again, they spaced out 3 Renekton Ws to guarantee that kill. And meanwhile, minor misplay maybe from Ignar here, but Hansama will pick up a kill on the back. Even in their disadvantage, they're winning out.
And it's all from patience again. This Hansama play is patience. He's holding with this 4th shot. He's not only got to flash the route, but he has to time the Q. It's got to land, he makes it count, and again, just all the way around. From this, they then go mid for Misfits. Misfits go for the mid lane, get a kill onto Exile as well, and just very clean in several areas and fairly straightforward.
Yeah, and you can just tell that this is practice. This isn't randomly happening that they end up top for the dive. Because in the drafts as well, they banned out a Nautilus to then hopefully bait out a Maokai. It turns out it was the Orianna early. They just picked the Renekton knowing that they have to go for a passive matchup here, not the Maokai, the Trundle then, but Renekton plus strong jungler will always dive. Now in game 2, they had a little bit of issues with the Lee Sin versus Graves matchup. They adapted their jungle path. Ignar took the bullet for the bot lane by leashing. Hansama started alone. So these guys are adapting on the fly within a series with a clear goal in the game, and they're executing it so well.
Yeah, they are player of the series in this one, Kakao. You mentioned him there already because although it was rough, once mid-game came around and late game came around, he found every opening.
It's just so fun to watch.
Yeah.
Not only mid-game, late game.
I'm excited.
You put his champion pool up there against any European jungler, and you're like, okay, this guy plays Lee Sin, he plays Graves, he can play the Elise, he will.
But how he plays?
Yeah, it's what he does. So you have the mechanical up plays where sometimes he'll go in for a flash kick into Q. That's how he took out Samex in the last fight. Earlier in this game, when they were down Alfari, Kakao was the guy actually moving behind the Unicorns, then peeling off, going top lane, adding pressure to the map. Deficio pointed that out in the game. This guy is versatile. He understands what pressure means in a game for the opponents. And he also has just insane mechanics. He had a couple kick flashes that turned around fights, that kicked in exile, for example. He had such a large presence in his series.
Yeah, and this is a kind of a revival in his career, and I think that works for a lot of the members on the team individually. They're strong, but they didn't necessarily thrive as hard, but they're hungry. They have a great coaching staff. Everything around them works, and they're on an upward trajectory. UOL down, H2K and G2 to come, but I do also want to touch on the Unicorns of Love. After game one, you'd say, oh, this is not going very well, but I do think they were able to get a grip at least against on the series and have something to build on.
Yeah, definitely so. Like,
I mean, I agree. It's difficult with this one because Unicorns did a lot well with their team fighting later on. Still, you've got to look at the early game and say, okay, these players going early. Some improvements have been made. Some we saw at IEM and some in this series, but it's still not quite there. I want to see a little bit more tightening up of the early game plays.
Yeah, that's 8 losses in just 2 weeks now.
yeah, but if you look at where they were before the split, if you would have offered the Unicorns this standing with this progression on their jungler 6 weeks into the split, I think they would be happy with it. This guy played a pretty clean series in Xerxes. He had a Baron steal. He was fundamental to their growth earlier on. They're going through a rough patch right now. Let's see what happens next for the Unicorns.
For sure. They built up some credit, and as you said, they can afford to lose this series because of what they build up, but we'll see what happens next. But next up here, we'll be getting into game one of our final matchup of the evening between fan favorites Fnatic and H2K. Don't touch that browser.
Haha, 60 ult again. Hey, fuck.
They got 2 millions now, they can walk out, otherwise they will be very tough. Oh,
Hansama!
very clean finish. Can they kick out Xerxes?
Xerxes coming in.
No!
Unicorns of Love! They steal Baron from the best Baron team in Europe.
Nice. Take it. This is not fine. Nice. Back.
Oh, Shockwave found nobody. Cacao looks for Samax. Here goes Legendary. If other people is exhausted, Misfits don't care. They turn their attention to the Nexus, getting the kills, getting the base, and Misfits defeat the Unicorn.